It's 25 to 7. As you can see, it's pretty dark out there. I wanted to make sure I got here early. Got here way before sunrise. I think maybe I got here a bit too early. But can you be too early? Problem is, there's no point in me trying to scout a composition because I can't see anything. So it's actually started to lighten up a little bit already. I'm on Ilkley Moor in West Yorkshire. Fantastic place for landscape photography. Conditions are absolutely glorious. There's a little bit of mist in the valley, not too much. You can see behind me in the valley, you can see the horizon there. Gorgeous colour on the horizon. And that's where sunrise is going to be, right behind me, in about half an hour. I'm thinking it's going to diffuse the sun enough I could actually go for a misty sunrise type image. So what I've decided to do is to come up right onto the top, right up onto the top of the Cow and Calf rocks. And my theory is, I don't know what my theory is, what the hell. I said misty sunrise possibility. So my theory is to try and go for a sunrise shot first, and to be right up as high as I can get at sunrise, and then if that doesn't work out, I can go back down to the bottom and go for the more conventional image. I don't want to waste too much time. I hope that makes sense. So I'm up on the top, just like pretty much on top of the cow bit, I think. I'm gonna go and get on top of this big rock, which is easier said than done. Okay. So not as fit as I used to be. Oh my word. So I was in a bit of a rush to get set up because sunrise happens so fast and you don't want to miss it. So I've got my setup ready, and it was looking like the sun was going to be coming through soon, maybe in about 20 minutes. It was looking misty over the horizon, but directly above it was like really clear, crystal clear. Now in fact it's actually gone darker. There's actually more mist around at the moment. There's more mist over the horizon. It's just all looking a bit murky, which is kind of a bit weird. So yeah, it was looking like the sun was going to come up pretty soon. Now it's looking like it's going to take a while, so I guess I'm just going to have to wait. That's one of the hardest bits for me, just waiting in landscape photography. I hate waiting around. But so we've got the camera set up. I've got my wide angle lens, 24mm lens on. I've got my composition. I'm just going to show you the composition. So I had to decide on my foreground. I could just use the rocks, but we've also got this little pool here, so this little area is just collecting a lot of water, as it does, and so I'm going to use that as foreground. So wide angle shot, I've got the little pool in the foreground there. I've also got a bit of a line, see, between these rocks coming through, just giving a bit of diagonal shot to the frame. Got my little spirit level, which I always use for landscape photography because it's a much safer way of keeping your horizon straight. And then for this I've also got a graduated filter, so I know when that sun comes through it's going to be very, very bright. There's going to be lots of contrast in the shot, so I've got a hard stop, quite a strong graduated filter, and it's also angled. I've also got it slightly angled this way because that just fits the line of the horizon slightly better. You can hear the grouse calling, it's just awesome. There's a couple of red grouse just behind me. I'll try and ignore the birds today. Sod it, I'm going to try and film this grouse. can't believe that. I can't believe that. I'm just messing around with grouse and I look back and the bloody sun's there. Literally just panicked, just completely lost it. Just tried to remember how to take pictures. Jeez, just got a couple of shots off. It just doesn't look right. I think the thing is, it's one of those weird ones, there's not enough light. I just noticed something. Unbelievable, how did I not notice that? Ah, somebody's manky sock. Oh, thanks so much for that. Unbelievable. Anyway, as I was saying, do you know what, I'm gonna have to get back to taking this. So, okay, so what I'm doing, I'm focusing one on the foreground and then one on the distance, and then I'll just blend the two together in Photoshop. Wow, he's absolutely amazing. Pretty much spot on with my prediction, really. I say it was quite misty over there, so I was expecting this sun to come through the mist like a, I don't know. This just looks absolutely incredible. So I was pretty spot on with my prediction, really. There was enough mist over there that it would just completely diffuse the sun and it would just shine through and there'd be a lot less contrast, which should be make it easier to do the sunrise shot. And that's pretty much what's happened. It's absolutely bang on. I've actually put another grad on, it just didn't look right. I've put another grad on top of this one. So I've got a hard grad and a weak grad together. It's looking pretty good. I don't think it has the impact. It doesn't have the impact that I was hoping it would. There you go. So I've gone with f11, and the reason for that is using this 24mm wide angle lens. It isn't the sharpest of lenses. There is a bit of drop off in quality. So I try to shoot at the sweet spot. If I shoot around f8, f11, focus in 2 or 3 different points, and then I can blend those focus points together in Photoshop afterwards. That's going to help keep the quality up. If I try and get full depth of field like f22, it's actually going to reduce the quality. ISO 100, I use ISO 100 most of the time for my landscape shots, as much as I can. It's just, again, going to keep the quality as high as possible. So that's giving me a shutter speed at the moment of 1/8. The problem now is I'm getting just so much contrast. So I'm getting a huge amount of contrast now, and there's not really much I can do. So I'm gonna change position. Shooting towards the sun's just going to be too much contrast now, so I'm going to change position and I'm going to try and do something that's side lit. Possibly have the sun behind me, but I think side lit's going to be the best. So this is what I've settled on. The wide angle lens is going to bring all this foreground in. The composition I've gone for, foreground rocks. So you've sort of got the grass running in between them, which is just breaking it up. Not only is it breaking up the colour, adding a different colour in there, but it's also adding a bit of pattern and some lines. And then I've got some trees on the left hand side. I have got this interesting rock, and this one rock, quite a sort of jagged pointed rock, which is just sticking out, and it's just catching the first bit of light that's coming across. And then we've got the wonderful mist in the valley in the background. So I've stuck with the same lens, the wide angle lens. The main reason being that there's just loads of foreground around here. It doesn't make sense, I don't think, to go for a bigger lens like a standard 50mm, for example. I'm going to keep the wide angle shot, use that foreground to draw your eye into the picture. Got some really nice lines running in there as well. f11 again, same technique. I've also taken off one of the filters as well. So I've taken off the hard stop graduated filter, and I've just left the softer graduated filter on. So just one grad, which is a softer one. Back there shooting the sunrise, loads of contrast, so I need to control that more. Here there isn't as much contrast. 2-second timer. There we go. You might have noticed all this graffiti just all over the rocks up here. Apparently it's Victorian graffiti. I think some of it's more recent, but some of it's supposed to be Victorian. So I'm sometimes not too sure about that in the images. It is what it is. I think I'd rather not have it, but at the same time it is quite interesting and it shows the location pretty well. Got the sunrise shot, got this one which is a bonus. I really like this image because it's got a really nice soft feel to it. So I could stay here, but I'm also looking back over here, back down in front of the cow and calf, because the conditions are so beautiful, the light is so soft, and there's all this gorgeous bracken down there. There's loads of colour in there with the bracken, so I'm really tempted to go back down the bottom. I've come back round to the bottom of the cow and calf. We're just going to show you something first. This is why I don't use leaf filters. Yeah. Right, so this is my next composition down at the bottom, and really wanted to try and get a picture of the cow and calf. Got some gorgeous colour coming through from the autumnal bracken. So I searched for a foreground that I was happy with, and then came across this as well because it's also got the path in it. So basically I've composed this shot. I've got the bracken in there in the foreground, looking towards the cow and calf. Sun's coming in from my right hand side. Lovely bit of mist still in the valley. That's just enhancing what would otherwise be a good shot, but it's making it even better. So again, I'm on f11. I've got 1/10 of a second, and the light's increased a lot. It's got a lot brighter. For this shot, I've also got a polarizer. So I tend to go with feel. If I'm not too sure, then I'll try the polarizer, see if it works better with or without. Put the polarizer on, and when I rotated it, it definitely looked better. The colours are leaping out, looks a bit more three-dimensional. So keeping the polarizer on. So again, I'm taking quite a few shots. It's more important here because the mist has actually been moving quite a lot. So a couple of times the mist has rolled in so much that it's completely transformed the image. It's made it into more of a misty scene rather than a landscape shot with a bit of mist in it. It was a fantastic morning. The conditions were just pretty amazing, and it was just really interesting to watch how the conditions changed literally by the second. You can't beat mist. In fact, the mist is still there. In fact, there's more mist at the moment than there was when I arrived. Well, thank you for watching this video. Hope it was useful. I hope you picked up a few tips on landscape photography. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please click on the subscribe button. I'll see you next time.